Yes, welcome to the Vanguard Show on podcast, episode number 16, March 7th, 2021. At least according to the Greco-Roman calendar, it's 2021. We're sponsored by From Old Guard to Vanguard Book and From Old Guard to Vanguard Photo Exhibit. And you can go to Facebook and check out both those pages. And today I'm with my co-host, Ms. Kathy.
Hello,
and we have
everyone.
a very special guest in the building. Brother Kwabena JiJaga Rasuli. Did I get it right, brother?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I was hoping I did. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you all?
We're doing good.
Doing good.
It's a sunny day out here in cold Chicago area, in cold Gary, Indiana. So we got some sun out here this morning. So it's good.
Oh, that's a good thing.
And it's warm out here as well in Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Now, you and my wife went to the same college. You want to talk about that a little bit before we get into the gist of the interview?
Yeah, UL, which used to be when we were there, it was USL, University of Southwest Louisiana. Just some serious culture down there. And unless you're from Lafayette, but my people were in Morgan City, where your comrade Uncle Geronimo was from. And so I went from Morgan City to Lafayette to UL and just had a great experience there. Great time. I worked in radio down there, and I was just telling my wife about started talking about the great food, best food in the world in South Louisiana.
And I was gonna say, look, I know you've been in Mardi Gras as well, right?
Oh, yes.
Because look, some of the great food come there as well, and you get to sample all the different varieties. And okay, experience for you, eating down south and eating down in New Orleans compared to in Lafayette, Louisiana. Do you think the food is different? The taste?
There's some differences. But overall, I just enjoyed all the food. And I spent more time in Lafayette, and so the food was great. But when I went to Nichols one summer in Thibodaux, they had the cafeteria at the school had the best food ever. I would just want to go to the cafeteria to eat the cafeteria food. It was so good. But the food is just so good down there. Just that that soul with that French and Cajun cuisine. It's just great food.
Look, you like the gumbo, jambalaya, crawfish.
I even make the gumbo now. I know how to make it. And Mardi Gras, real quick. Mardi Gras, New Orleans was supposed to be the best. The Mardi Gras I went to in Lafayette. Wow. And I think it was wearing Brobridge.
Yeah.
Man, Cajun feel.
Oh, and look, even Karen Crow. I went back home, and Karen Crow used to be a smaller one. I want to say maybe it was about 10, 12 years ago. My dad said, oh, just come on out. Went out, and he was like, we're going to go to the Karen Crow parade. I was like, Dad, it's going to be short. That was almost 2 hours long now.
Wow.
And the food was excellent there too.
Yes.
I was like, yeah, that's one thing about home. Miss the food.
Yeah, that food, yes. Best food in the world.
Well, I'm glad, look, you took away gumbo too, that you can make it.
Oh, I can make it. I made it twice so far. I made it twice this year. I got to do it again before it gets too warm.
So quick question on that then. People that ate it, did they think you were actually from Louisiana? Is that good?
Yes. People like, and it's interesting because my father taught me how to make the roux. Now he doesn't even use the roux anymore. He uses prepared stuff. Like, Dad, you taught me how to make this roux. I enjoy making the roux. That's my favorite part of it. So, but yeah, well, not my favorite part. My favorite part is eating it. And the last time, the people didn't get a chance to say anything because I ate it all myself.
Dang, Sharon is Karen, man. Sharon is Karen.
Well, first of all, y'all making me hungry with all these food questions, but we don't have to get into the interview.
All right.
Well, brother, talk about your upbringing and also your family connection to the struggle.
I was born and raised in LA. You heard me talk about the Louisiana piece, and so I went to Louisiana, I guess, in the midst of high school, and went back to LA to finish high school. But grew up, like I said, a Panther Cub. I would say I'm a Cub. My uncle Geronimo was, of course, a Black Panther, Black liberation struggle. And being a young child during this time, I was just thinking earlier that how when he would come around and all of that, I was like, knowing he was in the Black Panther Party and knowing what that was to a certain extent, but not knowing his level of involvement in the organization until a couple years later when, when he got purged. I was like, Daddy, what does purge mean? When he got purged from the party. And then I start seeing a little bit more about what was going on with it. But always reading the papers, the Black Panther Party papers, and when I went to visit Uncle G in the 90s, mid to late 90s, not long before he was finally released, Emory Douglas happened to be there. So I was like, wow, I got a chance to meet Emory Douglas. Man, I used to read all your artwork when I was a little kid, a little child. Man, it was just an honor to meet him. And glad he's still strong doing his thing out here and still representing. But yeah, so that was part of the upbringing. And then when I came of age, it was more so the gangbanging type things that were going on. And while I messed around a little bit, I looked more up into people like when I would see Don DC Cox or Bunchy and Bobby and Stokely. Those were the icons that I had in lieu of the Tukey and Jamal. You know, even they were big and had all the girls around them. I know these brothers out here were people for my people. The Freeman brothers, you know, Harold.
My mentors,
you know, brothers like that. I knew when I was little. You know, then in my neighborhood, one of your comrades, Brother Sharif, was from my neighborhood. He was like an OG in my neighborhood, and we got pretty close. I never met him physically. I guess when I was maybe I met him was around when I was little, but I wouldn't know. But I never met him physically, but we got pretty close concerning this movement. He was very supportive of our movement to clear the airways, which takes me back again to culture, how important culture is, and things in the culture that really I gravitated to, like most people, is music and sports. And the music piece, we grew up in a time with so much beautiful music, so much funky music, so many bands playing music about loving people, you know, some struggles in the music too, some crazy stuff in the music, but the funk was crazy, but it was like, you know, making you happy, making you dance, and still learning some things. Earth, Wind and Fires, you know, the Dramatics, Slaves, you know, of course, I just mentioned Parliament, Marvin Gaye, Stevie, you know, Rufus and Shaka, just so much beautiful music, Rolls Royce. I can go, you know, we can go on and on, talk about bands and stuff. And then to see what our music has come to today, it almost makes you want to cry.
Yeah.
It almost makes you want to cry. And, you know, I think we just don't do enough. It's unbelievable. There's two things I always talk about how it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable that our music has come to such a pass. It's also unbelievable to me that we have not stopped it.
Right.
And we have not organized even more to put a stop to it.
Right. And also describe your Free the Airwaves campaign, because I watch you every Friday. You do your live streams on Facebook and other mediums, and I definitely enjoy the music you play, but describe the Clear the Airwaves campaign you have.
Clear the Airwaves is a simple description. We want to clear the radio airwaves of all the vile, vulgar, and violent music that specifically targets our children and youth. We know the importance of music, the frequency. I was talking to Steve Cobb yesterday, and oh man, I can't think of his excellent definition, but he's a musician, a drummer, percussionist. And he just talks about how music, how it influences you. And one of the things he said, you know, if people say how many babies were made because of Between the Sheets and so much of the love music that we have, while it can work on influence you on that way, it can also influence you on the other way when all the songs are talking about shooting and killing people. And we see that happening. So the Clear the Airwaves Project is basically about getting this vile, vulgar, and violent music off these radio stations that specifically target African children and youth.
And part of it you can see from the West Coast, East Coast. You remember what happened during that era of everybody coming out. And that was part of with music. And it was like picking the turfs of who had the best music, when music should just be shared in total. But it should be also something that have substance.
I was going to ask, how does popular culture play into what the youth are listening to today? Because, you know, we grew up in a different time, as you said, where the music was uplifting and it was encouraging, and it kind of developed your imagination. Now they talk about what's real, and oftentimes the real is very detrimental to the African and Black community. Do you want to speak to that?
Well, we say that the music is this sort of music, and these lyrics have been force-fed to the masses of people. Like you mentioned, the show we do is called a weekly wrap-up. It's a conscious hip-hop and classic funk show. And so me and my cousin Lexa, we do the show, and we don't have enough time to play all the beautiful conscious hip-hop that's out there. We don't have enough time to play it because there's so many brothers and sisters who refuse to demean and denigrate their people, refuse to drop N-bombs on us, even though too many of those so-called conscious artists still drop them N-bombs on us. Yeah. But it refused to rap porn to our children. And so there's the alternative. People always say, well, you got to have the alternative. The alternative is already there. It's already there. And so what we have to do, what we got to understand is that this is what they force feed on us. They play this stuff in hot rotation, which means 15 to 20 times per day, these songs are being played on these radio stations. And it's done on purpose. You know, they do it for a reason. They know exactly why they do it.
Because basically that's a form of brain, what they say when you actually repeat it over and over again. I just had the thought, brainwashing. Because basically that's brainwashing and instilling something within you and you don't even know it.
It's proper. Well, Chairman Fred Jr. calls it propaganda bombs that they're dropping on the masses of our people. For instance, this is an example of what we talk about when you say that. So in 2016, there were 780 people killed in Chicago. Almost 12 people were shot every day. If there was 12 people shot every day, 10 of them look like us. And so here we come on January, the end of January 2017, 1 month after these numbers were shared, and you know we knew how bad it was all during the year. And so 1 month after this happens, WGCI, which is the No Heart station, officially they're called iHeart, formerly Clear Channel, but we call them No Heart. They do their top 10 at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. They do the top 10. Out of the top 10, 5 of the songs had this statement: "If Young Metro don't trust you." Y'all know the answer to that question? Do y'all know the answer to that question? If Young Metro don't trust you?
No.
So, and I'll just take a little pause right there. So when we do this presentation, a lot of times we'll be a mixed crowd in terms of age, adults, young adults, and children. And so we'll tell the children, be quiet, do not answer this question. And then we'll say, if Young Metro don't trust you, and the adults look at me like I'm a damn fool. And so then we'll say, okay, now everybody answer this question. We say, if Young Metro don't trust you, and the children and the youth will in unison yell out, I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna shoot you. So in January of 2017, again, less than 1 month, or about 1 month after these horrific numbers came out, listening to this top 10 this night, 5 of the top 10 songs had in them, if Young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you. Now Metro is a beat maker. He just makes the beats, and so his Metro Boomin is his name. He had a song with No Future, a rapper called Future. We call him No Future. And like No Heart, anyway, No Future. Right. And we'll talk, remind me to say something else about a song he had out last year too. So your Future says, you Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you in one of the songs. And so that Metro made that his tagline. So during this period of time and all his beats, he had that as his tagline. So the 5 songs were a song called Bad and Bougie. Bad and Bougie stayed #1 in the country for longer than any song ever by Stevie Wonder, that Marvin Gaye, or Earth, Wind and Fire, or Whitney Houston. It stayed #1 for months. And this is a song that depicted everything that we struggle with this ratchet killer music: drug slanging, misogyny, shooting and killing people, whatever else you want, alcohol abuse. All of it's in there. And so in that song, it starts off, Young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you. And then the next song we know was XBITCH by No Future, and who did that with him? Young Slug, Young Thug, they call it. If Young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you. Another song was it Blessed? No, it wasn't Blessed. It was a song by Big Sean. Big Sean can go. He was rapping pretty hard, good rapper out of Detroit. But if Young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you's in there too. Then there was a song by Lil Uzi Vert. I think it was Lil Uzi Vert, yeah. You was right. I met the sister at a club. You told me I should have went right in the bathroom and hit it. In the bathroom. But no, I took her home. We did our thing. Then I come to find out she's messing with 5 other guys. You was right. I should have listened to you. So I'm gonna take it out on her family. I'm gonna get with her sister, and you know what, her sister, then I'm gonna make her vanish. I'm gonna make her vanish. And you was right. And all of a sudden, before that song goes off, if Young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you. So you're disrespecting women, you're kidnapping women, with all these sisters that are missing all around the country, all in Nigeria, Black women are missing, and you bragging about this. And then, by the way, if I don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you. And then there was a song from Kanye West. Y'all call him Kanye West.
Okay.
this song, I think Kanye pretty much makes his own beats. So I think what I read is that Kanye just wanted to use that tagline. He liked the tagline about shooting people you don't trust.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So reach out my hands to my father, which was a nice song. Right. But in there, if you don't mention, don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you. And so these songs, if they're in the top 10, they're in hot rotation. That means they've been played 15 to 20 times per day. That means all throughout the day, you're hearing this word. If you don't trust somebody, you shoot them. If I don't trust you, I'm not gonna shoot you. I'm gonna get away from you, or I'm gonna get to know you, where maybe I can develop some trust. I don't shoot you. And this is what's programmed into the minds of the masses of our people all around the country. This was in 2017. And so this struggle, this audio attack, we call it an audio rape of the minds of the masses of our people, of our children and youth, has been going on for too damn long. Right. Too long.
Okay. And brother, when you have your shows on Friday evenings, is that a way to counteract a lot of that reactionary, negative, music on the airwaves? Because you have a very positive show on Fridays that I love to tune into.
It is because people often say, what are you going to put in place of this? And we struggle with that. We struggle with that because again, we've been doing this show for 21 years, but this show is on one station.
Right.
This is, even though it's a mass media FM radio stations, WGVE, not a shameless plug, a righteous plug. It's also on Malcolm X radio out of Greenville, South Carolina, where our sister Afia, SNCC veteran, lifelong freedom fighter, she runs that station in Greenville. WMXP, I think is the name of it. I got to get that right. And then also we're on radiojustice.org out of LA, RJLA. And so it pales in comparison to what mass media is doing. And so when we have presentations or deal with these psychologists and other experts in the field who deal with this stuff, and we talk about having the alternative, we talk about the righteous work they're doing when they meet with a group of people, a group of youth, a group of doctors, a group of psychologists in a certain city, and talk to the people and deal with this. When we go to elementary schools or high schools or even colleges and talk to people about this, it's righteous work that we're doing, but it pales in comparison to every major city in the U.S. with 1, 2, sometimes 3 radio stations who in 9 out of 10 songs that they're playing are dropping N-bombs on us.
Right.
8 out of 10 songs that they're playing are calling out women B's and H's. 9 out of 10 songs are telling us encouraging and bragging on shooting and killing African people. It pales in comparison to that. There's no comparison. So while we agree that the alternative is important and the alternative is here, that stuff got to stop.
Yeah.
It has to stop. And in too many cases, these are European-owned radio stations. We lament how in Chicago, both of the radio stations, the No Heart station and the Crawford station, or Dontron station, they're both European-owned. But yet, they are the only 2 stations that specifically target our children. So we were complaining about that to some of our comrades in New York. And it's the same thing here.
Right.
Because that's how you actually did a comparison between the 2 different stations, the stations that actually have.
I think it's in your newspaper.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got it. It was in the newspaper, and you kind of talked about that. Can you tell us a little bit about the difference between the 2 and what one actually represent compared to the other one for our people versus white people based on the article?
So this work was done by Do Better Now. It's done by a white dude. They call him White Mike, and he has a piece on TED Talks where he talks about why Black murder is normalized. I encourage everybody to check that out. A lot of people have seen it. So what their group did, their group worked with us. We worked with them for a minute. They did a study on the Clear Channel, then No Heart station, WGCI, and WGCI again owned by Clear Channel iHeart. They have the licenses for 7 or 8 stations in Chicago. And these, they can't own the station, so they just get the licenses for a little while. And so during their study, they said that every time that their station for white children and youth called KISS, every time they get one sexual reference, the station they have for the same age group, only difference is that the target audience is Black or African. Every time they get one sexual reference, we get 25. So a 25-to-1 ratio of sexual subject matter for the Black station compared to the white station. When it came to violence, the ratio was 50-to-1. Every time they get one violent reference on their station, we get 50.
Wow.
And same corporation, same age group, just differences in color of the skin. And we see the results. When you look at the, I think it was 2013, there was 420 people like murdered in Chicago or killed in Chicago, and I think it was like 12 white people.
Mhm.
If you look at that percentage, it's pretty close to the same percentage, the 50-to-1 ratio, pretty close to the same percentage.
And look, majority of it, when we talk about that too, as far as the violence, we don't make guns, so how are they getting around? That's an opening question, because that's one thing that's never been brought up. We'll talk about not having guns versus having guns for protection, not for protection, but how is it getting out in the community? That's another one. It's like nobody's ever talked about the puzzle of how people are getting all these guns.
Sometimes they say they've seen railroad cars open, vehicles open, and the guns are just brought there for the people.
Mhm.
You know, it's ridiculous. And so, we know we're under attack. A lot of us do. Some of us really don't. They think this stuff is, I don't know what they think. But I tell you one thing, when we struggle with the people, when we put this information out, we get a couple things. We get very low pushback from the youth. Most pushback we get is from the adults, because the youth, they're targeted. So they hear this music and say, this music is crazy. Yeah, they know it's crazy, but they're being force fed it. And so they need to understand also that we can stop it. And so the youth get very low pushback. The adults are always pushing back. I don't listen. And they don't listen. And I don't blame adults for not listening to this stuff, because it sounds so horrible and it's so disrespectful. But our children are listening. It's like, I don't want to watch no porn. I'm gonna go upstairs and close my room, close my door. I don't want to see that crap. But when your children are downstairs watching it.
Right.
And then part of it, when you actually talked about even the radio, I also read within the article that there is no censor on it. So the kid age range they had on that article started at 12 and up. So that's another part too. If you can't censor it and you can't make it where it's protecting the kids, and I don't know till today, is that still happening? Is it still uncensored where you can't actually create that platform where kids can't listen to it?
I talked to a group of children. It was about 30 of them not too long ago, and I had them in the classroom, in the big classroom. So we were talking about it. And so one of the questions we asked, how many of y'all listen to this music edited? About half of them raised their hand. How many unedited? And before the other half could get their hand up, a sister blurted out, it don't matter. We can read between the lines. And these were like 7th to 12th graders. So they know. And I listened to the radio this morning. I monitored it for a minute this morning out here. So there's a song they played from Pop Smoke, both the babies, Lil Baby and Da Baby. Those are like two of the hottest rappers out right now. And Pop Smoke, who was killed about a year ago. And in this song, he's bragging about how he can, how he knows how to shoot, he knows how to fight, and he was killed. He was killed in gun violence. He's nominated. All three of those rappers are nominated for Grammys coming up.
Wow.
But he was killed. And Lil Baby, Da Baby, starts talking some pornographic stuff. This is Sunday morning, mind you, before 8 o'clock. Next song I heard was on the No Heart station. Chris Clown, they call him Chris Brown and Young Slug. And this song, the N-bomb is obviously easily heard in this song. The next song was High Fashion from Roddy Ricch, who's also nominated for a Grammy, along with Da Baby and his song and his own song. He has a song in the chorus. You got them headphones, so you got to close your ears before I say this. I better not say it. I'm not gonna say it in the chorus, but it's nominated for a Grammy, but it's a disrespectful line about sisters, about women, and they're playing this. Then in the meantime, in between each song, Happy International Women's Day, they're saying.
Wow.
So then they go to a public service show, this iHeart station, and I flipped over to the Crawford station, and one of the first songs I hear is he talking about he gonna pull his you know what out, Da Baby, on some song he has with another Memphis rapper. And then the same song Chris Clown and Young Slug comes on again, where he's dropping in bombs. Then the same song from Drake that we hear every time we turn the radio on, where he's taking half a Xanax and she's taking a whole one. This stuff is just out of control. It's totally out of control.
And also, I would say that it's so much profit incentive in terms of they're going at our artists to make these type of music, and again, it's negative to our community. Would you say that that's a lot of the motivation around these young, talented artists, but yet they're pretty much slaves to the music industry?
Yeah, we've been pretty much controlled by the music industry in terms of contracts and things that we do, and getting and the royalties and getting advances and then being in debt with them. That's pretty much been a piece for a while. And, you know, a lot of people say, no, this is all about money. A couple of things we say, you know, about the money thing. You know, we said that, you know, slavery was profitable.
Yeah.
Well, we used to say, we still say it sometimes, porno is profitable, but this stuff is porn. This stuff is straight up porno, but it's violent porno. But Speech from Arrested Development had a, you know, they had an album out with Mr. Window, Tennessee, and you know, a great album.
Oh yeah.
They made the Speech talks about how they made the record company plenty of money. So the second album, I thought was better than the first album. All they had to do was do the same promotion of it. But the messages were about Africa Inside Me, talking about the Black Panthers, talking about the share. I mean, just beautiful music, great music. Didn't get no push, no play. They could have made money, but they didn't want that message out there. You know, this is golden age hip hop. They didn't want that message out there. They were trying to flip the script and start and control our culture with these messages of destruction that permeate our culture of music so much right now that it makes a brother want to cry.
Yeah. Well, brother, you are so passionate about it. And I think it was Pablo Picasso who once said, our goal in life is to discover our gift. Our purpose in life is to share it or give it away. When did you first discover your purpose for doing what you're doing now?
I don't know. It just all of a
It's
sudden,
birth, pretty much. You already have the DNA.
yeah, and you know, brother, I thought at one point once we start exposing this stuff, that it wouldn't be long before we got it off. I mean, I remember when this song "Amen" came out from Meek Mill. Kill ends in the building. Amen. She wants F. I say, get on top and roller coaster. Church. And when the preachers get a hold of this, oh man, they go, okay, good. We're gonna have some action here now. Man, nothingness.
Wow. So
I guess the work that I do with this and why I'm so passionate about it is because of the music, because of my love for music. But so many other people love music. So of course, I'm not the only one to love music. So, and I can't be the only one, and I'm not, that's struggling with this. And so we were doing a presentation one time at the school where I was working at, and a sister came through and said, Kwabena, I don't think you're gonna be able to do anything about this. And I told her, you're absolutely right. I won't be able to do anything about this, but we can. If it was up to me, it would have been off a long time ago. I'm kind of paraphrasing Kwame Ture when he talked about the liberation of Africa. If it was up to him, it would have been done a long time ago, but we have to do this. This stuff is killing the minds of the masses of our children. It is tearing it up, you know, it's tearing it up. So it has to be an organizational piece. And so we've been working with Hood Research recently. We've been working with CMOTAP, which is a committee to eliminate media offensive to African people. We've been working with them some more. The National Black Leadership Alliance, of course, under leadership of Bob Law, who's been in this fight for quite a while. You know, been given a lot of support.
I met him before. Yeah, I met him.
You met Bob before? Okay, great.
Yeah. I actually met him in Africa. I went over back in 1994 along with the Nation of Islam and Bob Law, so many other scholars, Hakeem Ajabuchi, and just a whole bunch of scholars and very dynamic people I got a chance to meet and network with.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, Bob's a good brother and still strong in this. He had an interview yesterday with Ilyasa Shabazz and Kevin Powell, and he dealt with this issue too. Yeah. And the National Congress of Black Women. That's the organization that C. Dolores Tucker worked with. She succeeded Shirley Chisholm, and she caught so much flack, but did so much work in regards to this issue. And we say all the time, if we had listened to C. Dolores Tucker, we have to be dealing with this stuff right now. But you know, the rappers and people were disrespecting her. I was with her even back then, even in the 90s. I was like, she's absolutely right. You know, but if we had listened to her, and now Dr. Ife Williams and the National Congress of Black Women still work with us today. So we need all these organizations that I just talked about. We need all our organizations to get on this issue. You know, I just saw where Congress just did that anti-police terror act. George Floyd just passed the other day. Man, that's a righteous act. You know, people always saying, oh, that BLM, Black Lives Matter, y'all dealing with this police killing. What about these killings in our community? And so, Congress, you know, of course, yeah, BLM is righteous what we do in terms of anti-police terror. It's righteous what the Congress did, and this anti-policing, this George Floyd bill, but also deal with this issue of fratricide being promoted on these mass media radio stations, these radio stations that are under control of the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, of which reports to the Congress. Right. Make the Federal Communications Commission uphold their decency standards. They have decency standards. The decency standards state that you cannot play indecent or profane content between the hours of 6 in the morning and 10 o'clock at night. Why? Because our children are most likely to be listening at that time. Exactly. They uphold the First Amendment. They say we uphold the First Amendment. However, we have a responsibility to our children. They say after 10 o'clock at night, they give them a little leeway. But they say obscene content is never allowed. Never allowed. And you guys know, like I know that all these stations pretty much violate all three of those. Obscene content is played all during the day.
Yes.
All during the day.
Okay. And part of it too becomes when you look at what they have to pay in penalties, it's nothing compared to what they make. That's why a lot of them break the rules. It's like, okay, we do something and it's like, oh, here's $10,000. That's your fine. Okay, but I made 20 million. What's 10,000? A drop in a bucket.
It's like this. And we have some comrades we work with from Rage Against Direction in Philly, and they were filing complaints, FCC complaints against the station in Delaware. So the station in Delaware finally went under. They asked me what happened. They said, we couldn't afford to keep paying those fines. Now these bigger stations, like I said, they just brush it off their shoulder. They pay the fines when they get fined, but they brush it off their shoulder. And we know that sometimes when we file these complaints, it has made a difference because some songs you don't hear anymore, and some of the lyrics they take out. And now every once in a while they'll do their mixes and those lyrics will be back in there. But the bottom line is, even if we file about one song, about one individual rapper, that rapper may die next week or maybe killed in a shootout. This rapper may say something anti-Semitic or anti-gay, and then they won't hear from them anymore. Right. But they'll just bring another one in because you mentioned the talent. A lot of these rappers don't have that much talent. It's just if you can say. I mean, if I made a song, us three formed a group, and we made a rap song. I don't know if y'all can rap, but I know I can't. Okay. But if we made a song and they played it 15, 20 times a day, people start liking it.
Yes.
Right. That's true.
Brainwash.
Right.
Brainwash.
Yeah, brother, I want to definitely send an appreciation to you for my comrade and friend Charles Boko Freeman. When he made his transition, you were there and you shared that information. First, how did you know about him, and also why did you feel compelled to go to his funeral and what happened? Did you know him prior to this?
I did not know Brother Freeman. I know we were together. I think at I went to the 40th anniversary of the Black Panther Party in Oakland. Okay. And I was, when I went there, I was like, I saw the Freeman brothers who I hadn't seen in years. I saw some of the LA Panthers that, again, I was a little kid, and I just flocked to them. I just hung around them all while I was there. Oh, okay. And just looking at what you all did, I thought was so beautiful because the Black Panther Party already got pretty much destroyed by this government. But y'all slated for that. We're gonna continue these programs. We're gonna continue this work. Where it wasn't, I don't say the word sexy, but it wasn't as like, you already been under attack. You know the consequences of this, but you still know the importance of this group and their mission, their 10-point platform, and we still gonna work. And then I say, brother Boko, coming from, being in the party in Houston, LA, a lot of stuff I learned later and some stuff I learned at the ceremony. Right. And then continuing on and continue that work, man, we got to do that. And I had planned, this is another reason why I went, because I had planned to go to the Carl Hampton event on the anniversary when he was assassinated, Carl Hampton down in Houston. Mm-hmm. But since that was not able to happen because of COVID, and I said, well, brother Boko was right here, and I'm in Gary, so he was right down there, not too far from me in Muncie. I said, damn, I wish I'd known early because I would have went down there early and just kicked it with him before then. But so I said, I got to go. I got to represent, LA, represent my uncle. I got to salute. I mean, these freedom fighters, man, I grew up like that,
Mm-hmm. So these are such close connections because, again, I was there at the courthouse in Santa Ana when your uncle, Geronimo JiJaga Pratt was released. After almost 27 years. And I think I sent you a DVD of some of the local news during that time as a family member and what have you. So I was blessed to be around some wonderful people. The Freeman brothers, Wayne Parr. So I have that similar experience like yourself.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And these are our comrades, man. Chairman Fred Jr. is a comrade.
Absolutely.
Me and Sister Layla, she's a Panther Cub. We've been doing a lot of good work together. You showed the paper that she put together, a special edition. And so many of the I got a comrade out here in Gary, Mr. Campbell, that was a rank and file member of the Black Panther Party in Chicago that we're real tight with. And so this is so important that the people talk to these people, talk to these Panthers, get this information. That's why I'm glad the movie came out and we're able to have dialogue about the movie and things like that too, man. So important. And Chairman Jr. has been such a supporter of the Clear the Airways Project,
Beautiful.
And so has like our brother Harold Welton. And when I get to LA, I go to the when I get to the breakfast, Harold's always calling me up to speak to give the people an update on what's going on with the movement to Clear the Airways Project. And peace and blessings, man, also, man, to our brother Greg Everett.
Oh, yes.
Our brother Gil.
Yeah.
Gil was on top of the headquarters.
Yeah, rooftop.
On the rooftop. And warned the Panthers inside. Boom. Hey, the pigs are vamping. Yeah. And what they held them off for almost 4 hours, right?
Yeah, well, almost 4 hours. And it's 4 days after the assassination of Fred Hampton and Mark Clark. Show you that coordination.
Yeah, man. So that was a powerful piece. And so peace and blessings to our comrades in the struggle. So it's a continued struggle, man. And this music though, this culture piece we have to deal with. I was watching a video last night. There was a rapper killed named Chuck Trill out of Houston, Texas. He was in Atlanta, getting ready to perform for today's All-Star game. I guess they had a party last night. So many parties. And so many other shootings were happening too as of yesterday. And so he was killed. So I said, let me just check this out, because every year there's video made of rappers killed in 2011, rappers killed in 2012, and so forth and so on. So I looked up the rappers that were killed thus far this year, and there was a piece that showed up also 200 deaths of rappers in 2020. 200.
Wow.
It's a video, and they show all their clips from from a video from each of them. And on the majority of the clips, they're dropping in bombs, they got guns, they're disrespecting people, and these are rappers that we know, that we don't know. This poisoning of our culture, of hip hop, of what we call a slop hop, is so pervasive now. It's so, I don't know what to say. It's just so pervasive, and so we still have to work to stop it. It's tearing the minds of the masses of our people up, our youth up. And again, we get very little argument pushback about that, even from from those who are involved, who are of that age. They said, "You're right. So, but what are we going? We can't do nothing about it. We get too much of that, but we can do something about it. We can file these complaints with the FCC. If you saw in the paper, we have a campaign where we put out a petition. It's on change.org. Don't give them any money, but it's a change.org petition to clear the airwaves, and we call for the removal of the non-renewal of the license of the iHeart station in Chicago, WGCI, and the removal of the reconsideration of the license for Power 92.3 Crawford Broadcasting Station. And so when we filed our complaint, the FCC made their lawyers respond. Right. And so they responded with some weak stuff, and so we responded back. And so last we heard was last fall when the FCC responded and said that, yes, we have made our decision. We're waiting on our lawyers to write it up. And we haven't heard from them since.
Okay, my wife actually read about that. You want to talk about
Yes, that's the part I read where they even met with you, iHeart, as a representative. Did they meet at the table with you during this time frame?
Yes, we met with iHeart at the table a couple times. We met with Crawford and iHeart. There's a picture on Clear the Airways Project. It was me, my comrade Kojo, and Bernard Creamer, who wrote this excellent book, by the way, called Who Stole the Soul? The Weaponization of Hip Hop. Y'all should check that book out. Okay. But Bernard we were with at their headquarters in Chicago, at the Chicago headquarters, and their then leader Earl Smith, ended up shutting the meeting down after offering us a position on some sort of advisory board, which we don't want that. We want y'all to stop playing songs that drop in bombs 123 times in a 3-minute song. We want y'all to stop playing music that talks about ejaculating on a sister's face. That's what we want y'all to do. We want to be a part of your advisory board.
And part of it I read, and I was kind of shocked to hear the part that they stated, we are like part of your family now, the way people see us. That was just very interesting to see. That gave them the right based on them saying they're part of our community. How?
We met Matt Scavano, who came from Atlanta, who's in, I think he's in Chicago now. We asked him, how are you as a white man going to be playing music calling black women bees? And his response was, they consider me black around here.
And I was going to say, that's just like saying, oh, I have some black friends. That makes it right.
It gives me the right to drop, to do that. And so so we met with them. We met with the Crawford Broadcasting Station, and Crawford is interesting. Crawford Dontron it's a Christian conservative talk station all around the country. And I was in Huntsville just recently, and I was just flipping the channels on the radio, and there was this religious programming on. So let me just listen for a minute. And lo and behold, when it came to the break, this is the Crawford Broadcasting Station. I was like, wow. So it's Christian talk and conservative talk all around the country. But when it gets to Chicago, to our youth, is amen. I'm finna kill ends in the building. Or it's preach. I don't trust nobody. I don't trust no end. All I trust is my God. Or it's God. I'm a God in the hood. My chopper make an end hop a 10-foot wall. That's the Christian stuff they play for the African children in Chicago.
And it's like parents should be all over the place hollering and screaming. And it's like, we're doing nothing. We're like you said, closing doors and just letting kids listen to it.
Yeah, we had an 11-year-old shot in the face the other day out here. And so many children have been getting hit in these crossfires. And the mother, we know the mother's, of course, passionate about this. Daughter, we all, 11-year-old child. If she put a 20K hit on whoever was a perpetrator of this. There's a song by the Baby, his first song, where he says, I'll put 20K on your head and have your partners come kill you. And we know that's where she got it from. I have to put 20K on your head and have your partners come kill you. This is the same song he says that I'm gonna burn me in at the store where your mammy and grandmama shop at. Not your mama, but your mammy and grandmama.
Wow.
And so that's the same situation. This dude, they didn't care about who was in the backseat of that car. And so he was just shooting randomly and gets and shot the girl in the face. And then GCI will play 2 songs in a row about shooting you in your face last year. Last year in Chicago, I know we said in 2016 there were 780 people killed. In 2020 in Chicago, there was 769 people killed. There was 11 shot every day. And one of those events was a funeral on 79th. I believe it was on 79th in South Side. A funeral, 15 people were shot at a funeral. 15 people were shot, including 10 sisters. They said one sister got her breast shot off. And on the radio, Drake and No Future, we call him Fake. Fake seems to drop N-bombs on every line he makes a song on. Yet his mother is European that practices the Jewish religion, and his daddy is the brother of bassist for Graham Central Station and Sly and the Family Stone, Larry Graham.
Oh yeah,
that's Drake's uncle.
Yeah.
But he has a song with No Future, Life is Good. And when Future gets to rapping, he raps about how he's gonna put your name on a t-shirt or he's gonna have you in the newspaper because he murk you. You know, murk means to kill you. And so then he's gonna pay $20,000 in drug money to have your hearse shot up. So this is on the radio, on both of these stations being played the same day that 15 people are shot up at a funeral.
Wow.
10 women, 10 sisters shot at a funeral.
Wow.
And this is what the radio is playing. And hardly nobody's addressing this.
Wow.
Nobody's addressing this. And it goes back to the point, like we were at this event where the police came in the sister's house. She was having clothes on and they stayed in there for a while before somebody finally put something on her. Wrong house. So we were struggling with that. And so we went to that thing and people, oh yeah, you the brother that deals with the, no, it can't just be me.
Correct.
It has to be us.
Because how many of us have iPhones? Let's keep it real. Everybody.
Yeah.
Well, brother, how can we get our viewers to learn more about what you're doing and support your various campaigns?
But we can get the viewers to learn more about what we're doing. You know, and that's what I'm saying. Look, not what I'm doing, but what we're doing.
Right.
Checking out the Clear the Airwaves Project page on Facebook. Also, this is very important that we deal with the Grammys right now. This is like an urgent issue. That, you know, and our homegirl Maxine Waters just recently okayed Megan Pete's music. Megan Pete is Megan Thee Stallion. The stallion is a male horse, so we typically try to call her by her last name. She may not like that, but I don't like calling her a female sister, a horse, a male horse at that.
Right.
So, yeah, and so what we need the people to do is call the Grammys. The Grammys have a phone number. They're right there in Santa Monica, California, is where they're headquartered at. And so the Grammys right now has nominated so many songs that are demeaning and degrading to African people, and songs that call on the shooting and killing of ends. There's a song by the rapper that we talked about earlier called The Baby. Now, The Baby, his song is called Rockstar. Rockstar, he doesn't get his rock star status from playing the guitar. He got his rock star status from having a stick. A stick is a gun that these rappers call a gun. He said his Glock made him promise that he's gonna squeeze the Glock. And he's gonna shoot ends. You know, his daughter's a G. She saw him kill an end by the age of 2. And if he has to, he's gonna kill another end to protect his daughter. He's chasing ends to kill him. And this song is nominated for 3 Grammys, including the melodic rap song of the year. Man. This stuff is so crazy. And so what we're saying is that that we have to, give me a moment here because I got it right here somewhere.
Okay.
We have to demand that they stop this, that the Grammys rescind these nominations, take them off of there. We're demanding also that the Grammys come up with some sort of decency standards.
Mm-hmm.
Some sort of decency standards and enforce those decency standards. We say that if you take that M-bomb out of that song, Rockstar, and you replace it with any other racial epithet that's offensive to a group of people, it would not only would it not be nominated for a Grammy Award, it would have never got recorded.
That's true.
And so this is what the brother said. This is the other brother in the Roddy Ricch. This is what Roddy Ricch says in that same song, Rockstar. He's nominated for 3 Grammys. Actually, he's nominated for 4 Grammys. But he says, I keep the Glocky when I ride in the Suburban. He's trying to like personalize his gun, his Glocky. Because the codeine got a young end swerving. So he's on dope. He's swerving in the car. I got the mop. Watch me wash him like detergent. You know what a mop is, right? At the end of the stick.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to wash him. He's going to spray down, instead of spraying down, he's going to spray down the block.
Yeah.
Like detergent. I'm balling with the diamonds on my jersey. I slide on my op side. You know what slide is? You slide on somebody, you're doing a drive-by on them. You slide and you're going to get them. Wow. I slide on my ops. My ops are my opponents. And I flip the block black. Yeah. My junior popped him and left him lopsided. So he didn't kill somebody. He ain't done it. Somebody else's junior done did it. 3 Grammy nominations for this song. Wow. And again, take that N-bomb out of there and put in any other racial epithet. Put in a dog. Put in I'm shooting dogs. You think you get nominated for a Grammy?
No, definitely not.
So 310-392-3777. 310-392-3777. Call the Grammys. Call the Grammys, voice your displeasure. Call the office of Maxine Waters, voice your displeasure. We need Maxine Waters to get on the FCC to put a stop to that pornographic, violent music being played on these radio stations that target our children. Not to be big up in Megan Pete.
Right. Well, brother, again, we really appreciate your work and your collective cadre that you're working with to make this happen, and Clear the Airwaves campaign and all the other things that you're involved with others. And brother, we definitely enjoyed having you on. How can people follow you on social media and then connect to the other things you're involved in right now?
You can get a hold of our movement at Clear the Airwaves Project on Facebook. The website will be up in a minute. Again, we didn't want to make a website at first because we thought this project would be a project and it'd be over with, but oh man, it's so crazy. So That's the best way. Or you can email me at clearairwaves@gmail.com. You know, we work with Black Lives Matter here in the Gary, Northwest Indiana. Also, United African Movement. We're struggling right now. We've been struggling, bro, for this is a whole nother story. For 21 years to get a street named in honor of Malcolm X. 21 years in a city that's 90%, 85 to 90% Black. The previous mayor just made a resolution. We're gonna make this happen before she left office, and the current administration has been stopping it for 14 months now, 15 months.
Okay.
I'm about to go back to sleep, man. This is crazy. I need some rest after this.
Okay.
Okay.
This is crazy.
Well, look here. Also, a brother wanted to shout you out. His name is Kamal Osiris, and he's in Indianapolis, and he's definitely a comrade of mine and Boco's, and he definitely wanted to send his regards to you, brother.
He's a Nap. Okay, right on top. You got to hook up with me,
Nap Town. Y'all got to kind of link up.
I think Nap got 3 radio stations. And Nap, look, I know you got to go, but the United States set a record for the increase in murders from 2019 to 2020. The largest jump in the history since they've been recording it was done that year. That's what makes us even more egregious or more horrific that the Grammys would nominate a song for Record of the Year about killing ends, when most of these murders have been occurring in these metropolitan areas where African people are struggling to survive this country. Milwaukee, 95% increase in murders. Chicago, 55, 40% New York, almost 500 murders in Philadelphia. Indianapolis murders is out of control. And it's just, and you nominating the song about killing Black people?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, bro.
Oh, I definitely understand, brother. And again, thank you for appearing on the Vanguard. We got to have you back. And we're going to try to link up with Sister Wills real soon as well. Man, thank you so much. And thanks for all you do and all the people that you work with do, man. And salute, definitely salute.
Peace, y'all. Appreciate you all. Appreciate the work that you all do too with this program. And salute all the lifelong work that you've been doing also too, brother.
Oh, thank you, brother. Well, look, you have a great day, brother. If you need us, just hit us up.
Will do.
Okay,
All right.
brother.
Be safe.
Be safe.